Hello and welcome to a word of hope for Tuesday of the 33rd week in Ordinary Time. I'm Father Bob Keller, speaking to you from Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's a little bit of a map here, and it shows Turkey. In today's reading from Revelation, they speak about some communities in Turkey, right in that area. There are two cities. One is Sardis and the other is Laodicea. And the writer of Revelation is speaking to them. The Spirit of the church is speaking to them. Let me get a copy. There's some good things about those churches, but they have some complaints. Remember how you accepted and heard the faith and kept it. Now repent. And for Laodicea, we hear that famous thing, you are neither hot nor cold. I want to spew you out of your mouth. You say, I am rich and affluent, but you are very poor. What was going on with those communities? They were basically Gentile communities that had formed in that part of Asia, parts that Paul had been an evangelist. And they're speaking to mostly Gentiles there, and they were workers, like everybody else. But they were working in cities that were affluent, were very rich in different things. And so these are artisans and shopkeepers and all who are working and trying to live out the Christian life. Now, the issue at that time in those places is that all of these industries or artisans had patrons that were gods, many gods, the Roman gods. Well, for a Christian, that does not work. But how do you continue to work in your area and not participate in the worship, sacrifices, temple worship, temple prostitution? That's the struggle that they were having. And they were compromising in some ways. And so the author is really charging them, return to your faith. And how do they do that? Well, we don't ever find out. But that was something that they had to live out because they were living out the salvation of Jesus Christ and the hope that that gave, rather than the gods that were capricious, that needed these sacrifices and all. So they're both living in the world, but not of the world. In our times, we don't have so much gods around and patrons like that, but we're living in a very secular world. And so there's sort of an adoration of things like gossip or backbiting or getting ahead or making it big. We're Christians that still are working in the world and doing the good, supporting our families. But we're not adoring that. We're adoring the Lord of life. And so how do we both do the work that is building up the world, but not participating in the liturgy of the world? Gossip, bad jokes, skipping prayers, or maybe Mass because of time constraints. How do we live out this life of hope that really is rooted in Jesus Christ, being in the world but not of it? We will be a sign of hope for this world.